Well, good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Douglas.
How are you?
I'm a little bit nervous.
Are you enjoying this fall? Look, the leaves are falling. Isn't it beautiful?
Hey, you're moving all my decorations.
Moving her props on her. So we are here next to the Raven Fork
nice little
River.
yellow.
Oh wow, look at
there.
Beautiful. Very nice spot. Very secluded out here. There's our cart. We didn't even walk out here. So far from our campground.
Campsite?
So tell us where you are today.
I'm
my
at
dear.
the Yogi Bear campground in Cherokee, North Carolina.
Yeah?
Sitting at site 134 G. That's probably H right there.
Something
it's probably
like
the last
that.
one.
One of the 134s, the
Yep.
more secluded tent sites.
Yep.
Some of the last that they ever rent. They're the
Some
last to go.
Some of the nicest ones.
Yep. So, we have come here today to interview you, my dear.
Oh, I'm thrilled.
I know, I can tell. How long have you been here?
We've been here since the middle of March.
So how long is that?
April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So 7 months. Yep.
Almost 7 months, exactly.
It's the 14th, I think, that we got here.
Yeah, and what's today, the 11th?
Yep.
So how has your experience been, would you say?
Overall, I think it's been great.
Yeah, was this a good first work camping assignment for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what would you suggest to people when they're picking out their first work camper assignment?
What would I suggest? I would suggest that you pick a place that's a good fit for you. So as far as like what we did, we made sure we were in a place where it was cooler in the summer. We made sure it was a place that we haven't really been a lot, so we had a lot of places to go and see. We negotiated for our 3 days off, which I think has been a big plus for this job. I think
So let's talk a little bit more about that. What's your typical schedule look like?
Work 4 days and 3 days off.
And the days off, are they consecutive days off?
Yes, absolutely. They've been wonderful about making it 3 days consecutive off.
And are they with your spouse?
They are.
Oh, I don't know if I like how she answered that one, folks. And what about
Three blessed days with my husband.
And what about your managers? Was your interaction over the phone when you did your phone interviews with your managers, did that have anything to do with where you decide to go?
That had a huge impact on our decision. Yes, absolutely. We felt that we were definitely meant to be here. We felt like it was a really good fit with the managers, even just conversations on the phone. And then once we got here, the flies are bad.
They're gnats out here.
Bad.
I never thought about that whole thing happening.
But once we got here, we definitely knew that it was the right place to be.
So you're on the Cherokee Indian Reservation. So do you think that's added or detracted from your experience?
It's definitely added to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How so?
Just being able to be on the reservation and learning about the culture, and I think just, knowing that Indians are not necessarily the way that you see in the movies, that we probably didn't do them any good by depicting them that way, and that their culture is somewhat different than what they depict on TV, and I think that that's what a lot of us go by.
So how long did it take you to prepare before you could actually start your work camping adventure?
From start to finish?
From the time that you got the first idea to try work camping.
It was like 3 or 4 years.
And what would you say the biggest challenge was during that time period for you?
Oh, leaving my comfort zone. Absolutely, without a doubt, was the most difficult thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what was the scariest part about that?
Failing.
Failing?
Yep.
And what would failing look like?
I think at first failing looked like doing it and not liking it, so feeling like maybe you wasted your time, but I now know that that's not failing. I think that that's just stepping out of the box and having a new experience, and if it works for you, wonderful, and if it doesn't, then it wasn't failing. It was trying something different and knowing that maybe it wasn't the right fit.
So what did you have to do personally in your life to get to the point where you could do work camping?
Oh, for me, it was mainly preparing mentally for it, I think. Was a huge part of it. I kept thinking that everything was final, that, by doing this, we were never going to go back to our hometown. We were never going to go back to our home. Everything was kind of like a never. Once we did it, then we were done.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it was a huge part was just to realize that never does not have to be in my vocabulary. We had to prepare financially. We had to prepare.
Elaborate on that a little bit, if you would.
So we had to become debt-free. So
I think some people think debt-free. Does that include no mortgage on a house, no car payments?
Absolutely.
All of that completely gone.
Absolutely. The only things that we pay for, well, we do have responsibilities as far as paying taxes,
because
insurance.
we still have a sticks and bricks house.
Right.
And a lot of people don't have that to get into this lifestyle.
Right. And we have insurance on the vehicle, the camper, the truck, all that stuff. But
house insurance.
Debt-free, no monthly payments.
We have phone bills.
We have a phone bill. We have cell phone bills.
Yep.
But as far as like those monthly payments that you're responsible for a long time, we don't have those.
So would you say that was freeing for you to get out of debt?
Absolutely. I don't know how we could do this if we didn't do that.
Yeah.
It would be a struggle if we had to make those payments still and did this job.
I can understand that. I know there is people that do work camping that have payments, but I'm just not sure how the math comes together on that.
I don't know either.
Now, I know we can't stay specifics on the compensation package for work camping jobs, at least your current one, they don't like you to. But can you give us just a vague description of what it's like, how you get paid?
We work a certain number of hours per person per week that pay for our lot rent, our utilities, so it takes care of our landline, our internet, our cable, our electric, our water. So that X amount of hours pays for that. And then anything over what our agreed amount is to pay for our lot rent, we get paid for.
So with that said, what does it really cost you to live here for 7 months? What do you actually have to pay out of your pocket for?
You pay for propane, you pay for food, you pay for entertainment, fuel for traveling.
But your actual living expenses, not talking about your entertainment. What's your actual living expenses to be here?
None.
Well, you have to pay for your propane.
Well, I said propane.
But they sell you your propane at a discount?
Yep.
And what would that be?
I don't recall.
Would it be at the same cost that they pay for the propane?
I thought you were looking for a number, and I'm like,
well, I know the number,
remember.
but I'm not going to mention it.
No, we don't need to mention the number.
Yeah. Well, let's say the number is just a fraction of what the retail is on the propane.
And that's what we pay.
Yeah. So that's been even a good break.
We get discounts in the store, the Yogi store. We get perks like being able to go to Ripley's places in Gatlinburg And there's, I don't know, how many? Did you
There's
say
8
yesterday?
between Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge.
Pigeon Forge.
What else have you done that has been for free here?
Oh, we've done a lot. We've gone whitewater rafting. We've gone to Unto These Hills. We've seen a lot of back roads.
The train tour.
The train. Yep, that's right.
You went to the Indian Village.
Yep.
Now that
Indian
wasn't
Village.
because we work here. It's because we're friends with Dusty and JR.
Yeah.
So we've been fortunate enough or blessed enough, however you want to call it, to make some great friends here that are natives, and they've really shown us a lot of the places around, some
They've
of the
been
back
awesome.
roads,
They have
and
been awesome.
the customs, the food that they eat.
Very warm and welcoming, and welcomed us into their family.
And
Showed me how to bead.
Christina's been doing Indian beading, other than just
Do we have
beating
to
me
call it
daily.
Indian beading?
Oh, it's
Just call it
beading.
beading. We've been beading.
Beading, yes. And she's doing a great job at that.
Not if you saw me this morning struggling.
So what are your feelings looking towards the future of this whole work camping thing?
I love it.
How do you ever see yourself going back to a regular job?
Oh Lord, I hope not.
And why is that your reaction, would you say? You know, because it's kind of like, I almost look like when you're still working and you're dreaming about becoming a full-timer or a work camper, it's almost like when you're living and you're wondering what death is like. It's like there's a before and an after. And you really can't experience the after until it happens.
That's not good comparing it to
I know,
death.
but it is kind of like that though, right?
Yeah.
Because I guess people could experience or could explain it to you as much as they want, but until you experience it for yourself, you just don't know what it's like. And you have to take the plunge to ever experience it. But I know there is a definite struggle with people that are out there in the comfort zone with the job that is steady and secure, but maybe they're not happy and they feel they're lacking something. How much vacation time did you take before you took the plunge and did this?
Vacation time?
Yeah, like how much camping did you do before you were camping every day for...
I thought you meant like once my job was done to when we started this. I was like, there was 4 days between getting done my job and starting this. So.
'Cause you've been living in a camper now for over 9 months. So how has that worked out for you?
I'm like on vacation all the time. Honestly. I mean, you have the reality of having a job and having to be responsible for your job, but
Paying bills
and
still.
paying bills, but it's
Doing laundry.
it doesn't seem or feel so monotonous. And yeah, there are days that we get stressed out. There's pretty busy days here that
Been a lot better lately.
You know,
They've slowed down some.
we come home at 8 o'clock and we're just ready for dinner in bed, but I feel like we definitely would have had those days sticking to our old jobs. And it's nothing to do with our jobs, it's just that lifestyle.
And it seems like you would have to take your job home with you a lot more before. Now you just kind of get done and really think about it a lot until you go back to work the next day.
Yeah. But in the meantime, you get to meet some pretty amazing people. Like, we have met some really, really amazing people just coming into the campground. We've met some followers on our YouTube channel. We've met other people that didn't know anything about our YouTube channel that, you know, just have really interesting lives. We've met people who have done this before for their very first time to years, so we've been learning a lot from them. You know, we've met some really good workers. Absolutely love, you know, our managers. So I think it's just different. I don't think that you have those days of that monotony, but it's not every day where you feel like you're doing the same old every single day.
No, I totally agree. So, I know we've talked about a lot of the positive aspects. What do you think the biggest challenge is for anybody that's thinking about getting into work camping, full-time RVing?
I think biggest challenges. I think overcoming other people's doubt can be a challenge. I think financially being prepared for it can be a challenge. I think getting rid of stuff.
Did you get rid of some stuff?
We got rid of some stuff. We still have stuff.
Yeah.
We still have stuff, but
we didn't have to get rid of stuff as bad as the people that... We had built a brand new, smaller house before we left.
So we have that smaller house full of stuff.
Yeah. So some people have to get rid of all their stuff. And
and that
really
still would be
be
a challenge. Like thinking about that, if it ever came to that, that would be a huge challenge. I'd have to like find one of my kids and dump some stuff on them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could get rid of everything. I guess I could. Absolutely, I could.
Or buy a place that you could come back to in a state that the taxes are a little more reasonable than New York State.
Yep.
The taxes will drive you out of New York State.
Yep.
It really is too bad, but it's almost impossible to live there now with just what the property taxes are.
Yeah.
And the health insurance has been a constant challenge to keep health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
It's just income verification and
them processing papers on time.
Yeah.
When you get it in time, and we're not even going to go into that.
It could get into
that's a whole other
political discussion, but let's just say the whole health insurance thing is a real messed up system right now, and it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
So we have had health insurance. We have been fortunate enough to have health insurance.
Absolutely.
And thank God that both of our health are pretty good. I do take one prescription for an inhaler that's pretty pricey, and I'm always concerned. That's my biggest concern is that I really wouldn't be able to afford that out of pocket. So there's a lot of people out there that are on certain prescriptions, and I'm sure, you have to make sure that you have something in place that helps you pay for that stuff.
And health insurance can be so expensive that it's... I honestly don't know how you could not be retired, not having a retirement coming in, or not be on Social Security, and not have health insurance, or have health insurance and pay for it.
Yeah,
like that,
or at
and
least
work
pay
this
for
type
all
of job.
it. But
that would almost be, I don't know, would be complicated.
Your income is limited enough that, with the way the laws are now, you should have some help with your health insurance. That's really all I'm going to say on that subject. So, I know personally and I knew this was going to be one of the biggest downsides with being full-time and work camping, is having reliable Wi-Fi. That has been a real challenge. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely.
How do you overcome that?
I go a little stir crazy. I go in my golf cart and run around the campground trying to find connections.
Yeah.
Go up to the office where they have a hardline computer that we can get on. So we do have that. So it's not like we don't have internet, and it's gotten better, and I know that's something they're working on. So I think that that's something, you don't really realize how reliant you've become on it or to it until you don't really have it consistently.
Where you can't really count on it.
So we do a lot of paying bills online and keep in contact with people and order stuff, through like Amazon or whoever.
And I have a Facebook page called Toy Hauler Fans that's rapidly approaching over 14,000 members, and that requires some attention. And thank God Donna Muller, who I appointed
Thank you, Donna.
as moderator, she's been able to keep an eye on that. And then we have a YouTube channel that we like to post videos, and we hope that people look forward to our videos. So that's a real challenge, just uploading the videos. You'll see lately, folks, and I do apologize for this, that some days I'll have to upload like 5 videos in one day. And it's because I have limited Wi-Fi. So when I get at the computer, I just upload everything that I have put together for videos. And in a way, it almost seemed easier when we were traveling to upload the videos. I don't know why that is. Because we weren't working. So during the day when we're working, we can't be uploading videos.
Right.
But we used to seek out libraries, public libraries, and, public Wi-Fi access. Every now and then it'd be a campground. Sometimes it'd be an Elks Lodge. So, speaking of that, how would you compare the traveling part of your experience, which lasted, about 2.5 months, with the work camping part of your current experience?
I enjoyed both, or I enjoyed and enjoying both. I loved seeing new areas and experiencing, different states and like what they're famous for and the beauty of nature of the area and stuff. It was expensive traveling because we were always on the go, so we were constantly putting fuel in the truck. So, and at that point we didn't have any money coming in because we weren't working. So, I love traveling, but it's not bad being settled in a place.
Would
either.
you say you were ready to settle down for a while by the time we got to Cherokee?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. 2.5 months on the road, and I was ready to just be in a place for a little while.
Yeah. Now, what would you say about being in a place for 7.5 months as far as a commitment goes? Just as a recommendation for people maybe looking for their first work camping assignment.
I would say maybe for your first work camping assignment, maybe 7.5 months might be a little too long. There's pros and cons to it because you have a place and income for 7.5 months, and that's pretty awesome. And you get to know the job really well, and you get to know the people well. But I think hitch may come in.
Hitch.
May come into play where you're
like
good and you're ready to move on.
Get homesick?
You get homesick. Yeah. Yep.
Miss your family.
Yep.
Long time to be away from the family.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Which is probably, I think everyone would agree, is one of the biggest downsides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you do it closer to home where you can see your family.
Yep.
Now we've been lucky enough that we've seen my parents since we've been here. We've seen 2 out of 3 of our children. Our daughter, Andrew, we haven't seen. It'll be 10 months since we've seen our 23-year-old son, so we can't wait to see him. We're going to try to see him in New York City on our way home. So we're only here for 3 more weeks, folks, and it's going to probably go by fast. So now we're trying to hit things that we thought we had all this time, and places that we wanted to see and things that we wanted to do. And now we're just having to really try to prioritize that, I guess.
So don't think just because you have lots of months that you've got lots of time, because honestly it goes by really, really fast.
It does go by fast.
Yep.
What would you say about the sense of community here as a work camp? Yeah.
Oh, I think it's a definite positive thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have, probably, I don't even know how many weeks ago, but at least maybe a month ago, we started doing Tuesday night dinners.
Oh, yeah, it's probably like 2 months ago.
Maybe 2 months ago. Maybe 2 months ago. And so that's really cool. We pick a theme and we, kind of do dishes according to whatever the theme is. And we all get to eat together. And so that's really cool.
We've gone out to dinner together as a big group.
Yep. We've gone to shows together. We've gone to
excursions together.
Anything actually
whitewater
that we
rafting
do.
And train trips.
Yeah, and if we go out at night, like when we went to Stomping Grounds, we let everybody know. So if they want to come, and it's fun to do it as a group. We all went down to Wise Guys and had dinner down there. It's a local pizza shop. So there's definitely, I think we all watch out for each other.
See, it's like you might miss your hometown and your families and stuff and your friends, the people that you usually hung out with, but You'll make new friends.
You go knocking on your neighbor's door because you're looking for a dustpan.
Yeah. Which happened last night.
Or sugar, or, whatever.
But everybody here now that's left here is really helpful, I would say.
Yep.
And we all go out of our way to make sure that, like the other night, the guy was taking a hitch off a vehicle he was selling and he didn't have the tools, so I ran the tools down to him in the rain. And just things like that. You just make sure, and people go out of their way to make sure that we have what we need.
Yep. Help us out with
here.
the dogs. And
Yep. And that's very important if you have animals.
Mm-hmm.
You can help people out with their dogs when they go away for the day. And like my cousin came up, lives down in Gainesville, Georgia. I hadn't seen him in 15 years. And we saw him like 4 times since we've been here because we're closer.
Yeah.
So that's been kind of neat. So you won't see some family as much, but you might see other family more if you're in an area where they live. So we're going to have to wrap this up because we're running a little long, but tell us what your plans are for the near future.
So the November 1st, we're heading out. We're going to keep our camper here.
Did you fulfill your contract here?
We did.
You were contracted to work till when?
October 31st.
Okay. What are you doing on the weekends now that's been kind of fun?
Oh, we have a lot of fun. So we have Halloween specials starting last weekend. So they have a whole bunch of different activities for the kids and families. But they have a haunted house here. And if you haven't watched it, I'm sure you should probably watch the video my lovely husband put up of scaring people in the haunted house. So we have a haunted house. We do trick-or-treating. It's a lot of fun.
And you do that every Saturday night through October.
Yep. October weekends are busy.
So what are you going to do when you get back to your hometown, E-Town?
I'm going to work.
You're going to work some more. Imagine that.
Yes.
So, folks, if you do work camping, there is the word work is in work camping.
Mm-hmm.
So even when we're home, we're going to work.
Yep.
And what are you going to do at home? Oh, look at that.
Perfect.
That was a natural leaf fall right there, folks.
So we're going to make some Christmas wreaths. And
Time for a shameless plug?
No. And then we'll be home for Thanksgiving. We'll be home for Christmas. And then there's a big question mark after that as to where we're going to go.
Trees?
Sell some Christmas trees. And then we're going to try to head out south after the new year. We'll stop back here, get our camper, see Bill and Sharon and Dusty and JR and the kids. And then there's a big question mark in that whole spot, which we'll figure out. But we have...
What do you mean by question mark?
Well, we don't know where we're going. We don't know how long we're going to be anywhere. That's the question mark. That we'll figure it out. It'll work out. I'm not worried about it.
So from January to May is your question mark?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then we have a graduation in May.
Youngest graduating from college, New York City.
And then after graduation, we head out to West Yellowstone, Montana.
What are you going to be doing out there?
We're going to be working in a store, not a camping store, but a store that sells home decorations, that type of thing.
Furniture, things like that.
Yep.
Okay. So there's actually work camping opportunities out there that don't include working in a campground. Really?
There are. There's a work camping job that works on a farm that...
In Florida?
In Florida, maybe.
Well, have you put in for that yet?
Well, not yet, because I don't have internet.
Well, you could
have to go to internet.
Send them your resume.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're serious about it, you need to jump right on that.
So there's a lot of varieties of work camping jobs.
Are you ignoring me now?
No. Not at all.
Okay, so I think we really need to wrap this up, folks. It seems like you have a better understanding, hopefully, what it's like to do work camping. And maybe you can come out and see all of us here at Yogi and the Smokies here in the fall. There's still a few weeks left. There's still a few openings, mostly campsites. The cabins are pretty well booked, but there could be a cancellation.
Not campsites for big rigs, but like tents or small pop-ups.
But there could always be cancellations.
But there could
There's always cancellations, right?
True.
So, should we give people the phone number here?
Sure.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
828-497-9151. Call
Quit.
I'll be channeling the chicken spirit for my happy wanderers. Happy wanderers. Thanks for coming to Dollywood. Y'all good. Bye, honey.
Bye-bye.
Bye.